Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I wanted to put this video out here and especially on our organization's page and kind of get our members' opinion of this. Well, I'm Chris Cherry. I run a small nonprofit based out of Charleston, South Carolina called Off Death Row. And what I'll do up under the comments, up under this video, I'll put a link to our program, and I'll also put a link to our approach, the curriculum that we use, which is cognitive behavioral intervention. But a lot's been pulling on my heart lately, a lot of times with the post about where I'm originally from. So I grew up in the GASTON, Swansea area, and it's really been pulling on me a lot to do something down there. I'm from that area. I had the same problem that a lot of people had. I had the drug problem with meth, which I'll be clean from September 2nd of this year, 4 years, and a lot of the criminal behavior. And it seems like a lot of people are kind of stuck in that conflict cycle down there. They have their problem or they have their situation that they're dealing with. They have the warning signs which they're not recognizing, and then they have the action that they're committing, and then they have those consequences. Well, anything you do is positive and negative to them, and what they're doing is they're creating a lot of times more negative consequences, and they're creating more and more problems, and it just keeps going on and going on and going on and going on. It's a lot like the curriculum that we use, Thinking for a Change, or T4C. It was developed in 1971 after the Attica prison riot, where over 40 people got killed. But what a lot of times what was happening was the same thing that we're seeing in our community now, was the conflict cycle with those inmates. They had the issues that they needed to deal with. They didn't have the skills to use to communicate their needs. They would have the warning signs, which we'll get to that in a minute, these warning signs. They would have their actions of lashing out, and more positive and negative consequences, more negative usually, whatever was positive to them, and it would just keep creating until finally you had a riot that killed over 40 people at the end of it, like I think it was like 4 days later. Well, let's talk about some of the warning signs that we're talking about right here in the conflict cycle. So here we have the iceberg effect, which was explained to me when I first started doing this training a couple years ago. Well, you have the ocean and you have the iceberg, and it's like the Titanic. Okay, the Titanic's coming down the ocean, and it's like, oh, there's an iceberg. Well, let's swerve around and miss it. Just like with people, all you see is their behavior. All the Titanic saw was the tip of the iceberg. What they didn't see was down here at the bottom of the ocean, how much the iceberg was carrying. Just like a lot of times with people, you have their behavior that you only see on the outside, but what we don't see is their thoughts, feelings, attitude, and beliefs. That's the warning signs that we're talking about over here in the conflict cycle. That right there. Thoughts lead to those feelings, lead to those attitude and beliefs, and those values that they carry that ultimately creates this behavior. And a lot of time it is negative for our community because they don't know how to recognize this, and they don't have the skills to say, hey, do this. But a lot of times we're thinking for a change. So my goal is to put a class right there in the Gaston area with a revolving Thinking for a Change curriculum. And what we'll focus on is the first four. Criminal thinking, criminal personality, criminal history, risky peers, and then we'll start focusing on what Thinking for a Change calls the other four. Substance abuse, skills with family and friends, education. And a big one, their leisure and free time. Now, what Thinking for a Change, the goal is, with Thinking for a Change, is to give them 3 sets of tools that are very important to start dealing with the big 4 and the little 4, the big 4 and the other 4. Y'all can see it, social skills. These are skills used to deal with people, to deal with situations in life, cognitive self-change, which is what's going to help them recognize what's down here and start to recognize, hey, those thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that are carrying them to their action. Now, I will say this, the idea for a class, not only to have the cognitive or the Thinking for a Change, when you start talking about D4, the first 4 and the second 4, the criminal thinking, the criminal personality, and the criminal history, and the risky peers, when we get to the second 4, substance abuse especially, that's where we all need to pull our talents together. No matter what curriculum we're using, no matter what program we represent or how many ever programs we represent, no matter what our belief is, whether it's faith, whether it's a mind disease, a body disease, or all disease, we all need to pull our talents together somehow. And right here in this problem in our community is the substance abuse, and have many different workshops in this class for that, to intervene or at least lead people in the right direction. The whole goal with the cognitive thinking, when we start breaking people right here, when they have the problem in the situation, the warning signs, when they break off right here, all right, with the Thinking for a Change, they can do that final skill that they hopefully achieve from that is the problem solving. The problem solving is what's going to get them better choices in life, or what's most important, what's more positive to them and their goal, okay? Once we start to break people down off this, when we have that problem, when they have that problem or that situation, once they break off and start using these, all right, when they start using the social skills, the cognitive self-change, hard to write on this thing, and the problem solving, that's when we're going to start breaking off, and we're going to end this cycle with people and start putting them, or and better yet, motivate them within themselves of what their goals are, when they'll start breaking out of this deadly conflict cycle and start making better decisions, especially dealing with these 8 things: the criminal thinking, the criminal personality, the criminal history, the risky peers, and the substance abuse. And I can't stress or emphasize enough, we all need to come together. If we're going to put a class in Gaston, Swansea area somewhere, let's try to get it going by this summer. Let's start breaking loose and start helping people break out of this conflict cycle and destroying our community. And let's take our community back. But I promise you, right here, the substance abuse, we all need to bring our talents together. We all need to bring whatever curriculum, whatever belief, whatever how many ideas we have, and start getting to people. Because once we break them out of the criminal thinking, or they break themselves, the beautiful thing about that is, if they apply these skills and they start breaking out of that, they're doing all the hard work. So once they break themselves out of the criminal thinking, they retrain their mind or upgrade their thinking, and the criminal personality and the criminal history and the they start avoiding their using skills to deal with the risky peers, especially if we all come together, we'll put a big dent in this, okay? We'll put a big dent into substance abuse, but we gotta come together. We gotta bring something together by this summer, some kind of class down there, somewhere where it's cognitive, where it's thinking for a change, where it's whatever curriculum you wanna bring. Let's do it, and let's start using our experiences, our stories, and the tools especially to start guiding people in the right direction. And that's my whole passion. Once we break them out of this and they start using this and what we facilitate and give them the guidelines, man, we're going to see our community change. Once that conflict cycle's broken, it's going to be beautiful. But I just wanted to kind of put that out there and just see where a lot of y'all stand with that, about putting some kind of class by this summer in the Gaston area. But just leave a comment or inbox me. You can call me. I'll put my phone number down at the bottom and my email. Phone number is 843-345-7750, or you can go to offdeathrow@gmail.com, or you can even send a message through our website, offdeathrow.com. But thank you for y'all's time, and I hope y'all have an awesome day.